what's up YouTube? It's your brother YT back at it again with another video. Have y'all seen what Trump has done? If not, this video is for you. I will need you to share this out to spread the word. Y'all see the title? Y'all know how it go. I'm gonna break it down further as we get into the video. I'm gonna let the people talk. I will come back and commentate. Y'all drop a comment below at any time. Family, you already know what to do. And if you're brand new too, thumbs up this video so YouTube can push this content out. Smash subscribe to join the tribe and ring the post notification bell as well. Federal worker layoffs are about to ramp back up. Let's get into it.
The Supreme Court cleared the way today for President Trump's plan to fire hundreds of thousands of federal workers. The justices lifted a lower court order that had temporarily blocked the layoffs. The job cuts were led by the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, and targeted employees at the Departments of State, Treasury, and others. The court said it was not weighing the validity of specific cuts, and technically the measure is temporary while other legal challenges play out. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson was the only dissenting vote, writing that the order promises, quote, the dismantling of much of the federal government as Congress had created it.
Also, if y'all haven't heard, the federal hiring freeze has now been extended to October 2025. I think it was October 15th or 17th or something like that. But anyways, yeah. So this is what it looks like is going to keep happening until the courts decide if they're going to allow the rifts or not. So just to keep y'all posted, FYI, now the federal hiring freeze is now to October.
So a major shakeup for the federal government this morning. The Supreme Court has cleared the way for President Trump to resume deep cuts to federal agencies, potentially impacting thousands of workers.
Yeah, a lot of federal workers are waking up this morning with a lot of uncertainty. What the Supreme Court ruling does is give President Trump the right to continue shrinking the federal workforce. That move allows agencies to continue cutting staff and restructuring programs. Now, so far, tens of thousands of workers have either been let go or left under early resignation plans. Now, the departments affected include agriculture, energy, labor, treasury, veterans affairs, and the EPA, along with Social Security and the Small Business Administration.
Not only are just small businesses talking about restructuring, the U.S. government saying they have to do some restructuring. And this is a part of it, the federal worker mass layoff spree that Trump has in place. This man want to get rid of majority of the workforce. This man want to get rid of majority of jobs. Mark my words, that's his plans. He want no more jobs. Him and Elon, even though they're beefed out, trust and believe they're still working together. When Elon said that most jobs will be taken by AI, trust and believe that Trump is a part of that as well. There are two people that are both working towards the same agenda. The $500 billion AI infrastructure investment will impact and reduce the amount of jobs out there for human beings substantially.
Interesting. So today, a major Supreme Court ruling, Trump is now allowed to do his large-scale cuts and massive layoffs to the federal workforce after the Supreme Court lifted a lower court's injunction that prevented Trump's executive order. I'm going to show you what the judges said, and also hit the follow for more news. I greatly appreciate it. So, according to the New York Times, in a 2-paragraph order, the justices wrote that they had concluded that the government is likely to succeed on its argument that President Trump's executive order announcing plans to downsize the government was legal. The justices added that they had not expressed a view on the legality of specific layoffs or reorganizations by the Trump administration. So now the Supreme Court's order is temporary while the lower courts continue to challenge Trump's executive order. But while it's being challenged, Trump will still be able to execute his plan, which could result in job losses in the tens of thousands to the federal workforce. So now, are you happy with Trump?
Buenas tardes, happy Black 365. Listen, excuse me, helter skelters. Listen. So the fat bastard in charge a while ago, bitch, he wanted to do a lot of federal layoffs, but he wanted to do a lot of layoffs. But, you know, they halted that. The federal courts halted it, said, no, you got to go through the proper channels. You just can't be laying all niggas off all willy-nilly, bitch. And he was like, no, I don't want to go through all that rigmarole, bitch. I just want to lay them off. So it was halted for a while. But the Supreme Court, and we all know, they robo, bitch. And they're gonna fight for the fat bastard in charge, bitch. They don't do nothing else. They're gonna peg him, change his diaper, eat his butthole, turn his pinks inside out. And they're gonna fight for him in the courts. Okay, so the Supreme Court, they clear the pathway, bitch, so he can resume those mass layoffs in the federal spectrum, bitch. So I think I seen where the VA, bitch, is gonna lay off about 30K of you motherfuckers. Veterans, what y'all gonna do? Because some of y'all voted for the fat bastard in charge, bitch. What y'all gonna do? Y'all already don't get the care you deserve, bitch. What y'all gonna do? Myself included, but I ain't vote for him, bitch. And so, not it. Bitch, I can pay nigga knock on somebody else's door, bitch. Not Ryan. Don't ring my doorbell, bitch. My name is Bennett. I ain't in it. It won't me, bitch. So, we'll see. Y'all get up in a few days. I'll watch y'all post, bitch, while y'all here suffering. I'm gonna pay you back in tears. We gon' cry. Come on. They got that K Michelle. Okay, ho, amen.
A significant majority of Americans have lost trust in the federal government. As of a recent survey, only 23% of Americans said that they trust the U.S. government. Everybody else do not trust them. They know they don't have our best interests. They don't trust the policies. They don't trust the man in charge. They don't trust the system. They don't trust that it has longevity to keep continuing on. The number one thing that people are afraid of are threats to democracy. They're afraid that Trump may consolidate power, weaken checks and balances, reduce healthcare access, and create global instability, along with create a mass surveillance society, a digital dictatorship. They don't trust that the numbers that are being put out are accurate. They think the unemployment rates are much higher than what's being shown. They don't trust that they'll have a job and be able to provide for their families due to the economy, due to mass layoffs, due to jobs not calling anybody back. And I feel the people, I agree with everything that they're saying. And I know that he's selling this country out.
Let's talk about what just happened with the Supreme Court, because if you work for the federal government, your job just got real insecure. Want to put no concealer on or any eyebrows? Y'all want a video or not? What's up, y'all? My name is Ashley Munson, and this is Munson Shorts, where politics makes sense. All right, so the Supreme Court just gave President Trump the green light to start mass layoffs across federal agencies. This decision temporarily overrides a lower court's ruling that blocked him from doing it without congressional approval. Translation, Trump said, I don't need permission, I got the power. And the Supreme Court said, go ahead, for now. So here's the backstory. Back in February, President Trump signed an executive order to shrink the federal government massively. Y'all remember that? I mean, since then, it's been like pre-World War III. Trump and his girlfriend, Elon, fell out, and then Diddy supporters using baby oil when he got out of court. Like, how should I remember that, Ashley? Well, back then, we were talking tens of thousands layoffs across major departments. Everything from agriculture, energy, Treasury, EPA, Veteran Affairs. So that's air, food, health, taxes, and vets all on the chopping block. Here's some of the biggest hits. Ashley, do I gotta take my glasses off this whole video? 10,000 jobs at the CDC, FDA, and NIH. Actually, what's NIH? National Institutes of Health. IRS staff slashed by 40%. I mean, they gonna leave me alone now or no? And the VA was supposed to cut about 80,000 jobs, but they walked it back to 30K. I guess M was mad about that too. So why was this even blocked in the first place? Because Congress created these agencies through law, and under that law, you cannot gut them so bad that they can't function. Supreme Court basically said, translation, y'all blocked him based off vibes and not specifics. Come back when or if the agency is crippled beyond legal duties. So what this means, to me at least, this ain't just about job cuts. It's about presidential power. All he needs is the 6th Infinity Stone at this point. Also means that the court has made it so much harder to challenge executive orders. They're even leaning towards giving the president more say about what the government should look like. I mean, Frank Underwood had more checks and balances than this. I'll leave you with my parting thoughts. We're cut! Sorry. Trump ran on, finally draining the swamp. But baby, this ain't a drain. This is a demolition. This stands, the federal workforce as we know it may not make it through Trump's second term.
The Supreme Court just cleared the path for Trump's executive order to lay off massive numbers of federal workers. This isn't a hypothetical. This decision means agencies like the CDC, NIH, FDA, EPA, HHS, and even the Department of Veteran Affairs can start cutting staff right now. Why should you care? Because these workers aren't just pushing paper. They include scientists, nurses, infectious disease experts, environmental health analysts, data engineers, people who keep the country running in quiet, critical ways. Healthcare and science in this country rely on consistent protected federal employment to function. Skip or strip that away, and you're not just shrinking government, you're dismantling the infrastructure that monitors pandemics, approves life-saving medications, ensures veterans get care, and keeps clean air and water safe for all of our communities. This ruling hands sweeping power to the executive branch to fire career civil servants, even those with deep expertise who are meant to be insulated from political retaliation. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson was the only one to dissent, calling this decision, quote, hubristic and senseless, end quote. And she's right. This isn't reform, it's erosion. Imagine a pandemic hitting tomorrow. Now imagine our top disease surveillance staff being gone. Imagine trying to get a new drug approved, but now it takes 3 times longer because the FDA is gutted. That's what's coming. This decision affects all of us: nurses, patients, researchers, veterans, and families. If you care about public health, environmental safety, medical research, or the science behind the systems we rely on every day, this ruling just put it all at risk, and it's happening fast. Stay informed, stay loud, and don't let people pretend this is just about cutting bureaucracy. This is about dismantling the backbone of federal healthcare and science in America.
Y'all want to know what it's really about? Everything this man stands for, he's about mass control. He's about doing what no president has ever done before. He's all about pushing it to the limit, going as far as he can. He's challenging the Constitution. He's challenging courts. He's seeing what he can and can't do. He don't even know if he can do some of these things. He's just doing it to see. I don't know if I can do it, but let's see. We're going to take it to court. This is what this man is doing. He wants to go down in history as the man that destroyed the empire of America, the American empire. He wants to go down as ultra wealthy, but he doesn't care about anybody else. He don't care about the citizens within America. He's all for self, him and his people. Remember, he became friends with Kim Jong-un. You think he didn't learn nothing from him? He learned how to become a dictator, saying that the young terrorist president is a good guy. Muhammad al-Jalani, I think that's his name if I'm saying it right. He's a good guy. Meanwhile, this man is a terrorist. To all my MAGA people, I'm sorry. Y'all have been fooled. Y'all have been lied to. I'm not for no party. They're all one and the same, all working to promote Agenda 2030. We're 5 years away from a one world government, one world religion. The digital currency is already coming in. It's not a conspiracy. It's here.
Okay, so remember when we were talking about all these layoffs like a few months ago? And, you know, it was with the VA first. They were the first people that was on the line. Well, that kind of went away, it seems. And then it just kind of came back, and it was just like kind of like this whiplash. You don't know what your head is spinning. You don't know what's going on. So yesterday, Supreme Court, they basically say, hey, we're going to go ahead and clear the way for you guys to go, for the Trump administration to go ahead and start firing people again. Like tens of thousands of people fired from the government again. And this overrides the lower courts, which is what I was talking about 2 weeks ago. Very big deal. You're overriding precedent of what the lower courts are saying. So this was back in February, okay? So they're overturning something that was in place, an order from a San Francisco judge that was like, hey, you can't do this. So that was about 12 different agencies that they were like, you're not going to do this. Like, don't even try it. When they put the injunction in place, which is an order, basically it paused all these layoffs. And so now that the Supreme Court has ruled on it, they're basically saying, hey, go ahead and go forth. We'll let you do this. But it doesn't mean it's a final ruling, which is still silly to me. It's just basically saying, hey, we think that you can go ahead and go forth. Like, we're not going to make a ruling on it, though. We're going to continue to battle this out in court, but you can go ahead and fire people if you want to. And we know they are. And the only dissent was the black woman. She said it was a wrecking ball to the federal government. It overrides Congress's power, and there was something else she said, but it was basically like all the power is pretty much shifting to the executive. Like, it's taking away some of the power from the lower courts. Like, they should be able to do this. And we're basically coming in. They did with the immigration stuff, just like they did with the What else was it? I don't know. It's just been a few things that the Supreme Court kind of had to come in. This was actually considered a shadow docket, and that means it's not like a full ruling, but or like it's like not a detailed opinion. It's just like kind of like, hey, we're just gonna here's what we're gonna do right now, and then we're gonna go back. It's gonna go back down to the appeal courts or the lower courts, and then it likely will come back to the upper court. So it just really is a revolving door, y'all. Revolving door. So like Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, it's basically like, hey, we're going to limit the lower courts. The SCOTUS is basically like lowering lower courts' value and their power, and they're kind of shifting it away from them to just the Supreme Court and mostly President Trump. And I say that, and I don't usually say President Trump, but it's just that kind of slipped out. Ugh, I'm kind of cringe because I can't stand when people say it. It just makes me cringe, but I usually just say Trump. So that's still how I feel. He's just a person. So I'm kind of curious, like, what else will happen? What else will they allow to just skate on by that won't apply nationwide anymore because they keep appealing everything, and then they just give them this like, okay, go ahead and do it. It's okay. And again, they have lowered the value of the lower courts to make decisions. It's just kind of like you're overriding. You're wasting time. You're wasting taxpayer dollars, if you ask me. So yep, skipping Congress, going straight to the president. Like, doesn't even matter that we have a Congress. That's pretty much what it feels like. So yep. Veteran Affairs, State Department, Health Department, HSS, which is Human Health Services or something. Human and Health Services. It's like that causes those people. First of all, I don't even know how much they plan to cut, but it might as well be zero in our eyes because it's gonna just bog the system. It's just gonna bog the system down and cause more people to not get access to things that they need and money that they need. And so it impacts us. It impacts, like, you're slowing down the economy. I just don't get it. Like I said, I just don't get it. Also cause, more friction to come because the SCOTUS keeps jumping in to the lower courts rulings, basically taking away their power, like I said 3 times. And now, what else could that be presidents for? Like other racist policies and gender policies and, work policies. It's just like, I don't know what to expect. But let us pray that we get this all figured out because I just don't think it's going to be great for the economy, great for people's homes. Because I don't think they understand how much it impacts regular, everyday people. Like people who work for I remember when I first made that video, back months ago, people were like, good, they don't do anything anyway, they're just eating. I say, how could you say that about government employees? Like they're not doing their, like, yeah, there might be a few people who don't do their jobs, but that doesn't mean that everybody else isn't, that these whole agencies don't matter and mean anything. So it has implications, and I'm concerned, and I want better for everybody. I want better for our whole entire country. So I pray that we get this all figured out and they do not come in with a sledgehammer. Because like just the other day, I saw where they were saying like they weren't going to slash like VA jobs anymore. But then this ruling came out yesterday. So it's like, are they going to go through with it or not? Like FEMA, what's up with them? Like we have so much going on. We don't really need a lot of these agencies to have cuts. I can see if you were assessing first and then you decided to cut. But if you're just saying cut the jobs and then we'll figure it out along the way, that's crazy. So I hope that they have kind of considered everything that they've done already, because they've had to bring people back just in the last few months. Hopefully they don't go down this road again. But I don't put anything past them. What do y'all think?
Well, it looks like the Supreme Court is going to allow Trump to launch mass layoff and restructuring plans, and 2 of the 3 liberal justices said sure, go for it, after lifting a lower court order that temporarily blocked those layoffs. And here's the thing, as the Supreme Court functions currently in a reactive manner, that decision's pretty well on par for what they should be doing. Justices Kagan and Sotomayor joined the conservative judges in saying that the agencies where the layoffs are taking place are being directed to operate consistent with applicable law. And they are, for now. Now, there are many lawsuits pending in lower courts and working their way through the system that could change this up, questioning legality and so on, but Sotomayor went on to write that the plans themselves are not before this court at this stage, and we thus have no occasion to consider whether they can and will be carried out consistent with the constraints of law. The majority put out a statement saying that they expressed no view on the legality of any agency plans for restructuring or shrinking of the workforce, and they left them open to the possibility of the whole thing being brought before them again. Sounds pretty fucking stupid if you ask me. The only justice that had anything proactive to say was Ketanji Brown Jackson, warning of serious harm that could come from allowing the administration to remake the government before determining the legality of it. No shit. TLDR version, the Supreme Court is willing to possibly let it burn again and then try to put it out rather than attempt to stop it from happening at all. Reactive instead of proactive seems to be the name of the game. More of the same dumb fuckery is going to happen when they got these agencies and realize, oh shit, we might have needed those. Our bad guys. Oh, Donald, you are not going to be very happy later when that inflated jobs number where you had to rehire all those federal workers takes a hit again, my guy. I guess until you have to rehire them again. Who knew keeping a country going took so many people? Anyway, it's day 169 in a series in which I asked myself, do I have to go to work today? The answer is yes. I don't care. Here we go. Do I have to go to work today? Nah. I'm just going to go watch some more gas being tossed on the old dumpster fire. Fun. Bye.
See, under Biden, they just kicked the can down the road so that this collapse could be the biggest collapse in world history. Way bigger than '08, way bigger than the Great Depression, way bigger than C-19. In the words of Klaus Schwab, the former chairman of the World Economic Forum, C-19 will be a joke in comparison to what's about to happen. It will completely cripple the job market and monetary system entirely. So a new one can emerge. The digital dollar is about to be put in place. We got Crypto Week, July 14th. We got the Genius Act about to be passed this coming month as well. The FedWire system is about to go live, and ISO 222. Expect to see more layoffs, expect to see more job loss, expect to see more AI taking jobs and more AI surveillance systems established in the coming months and years. This is why all of this is happening, and they know that their time is almost up. They want to take as many people down with them as they can. Hashatan the devil is the author of confusion, and that's what Trump is doing. He's confusing people. He's promising one thing, and the next minute he does the complete opposite. One minute he won't come out with a CBDC, but then they're coming out with stable coins that'll connect to a digital ID and social credit score, which is just the same thing.